Good morning. This is Barry O'Brien. We're here on CV Radio, and we are, as usual, on Wednesday morning. We're recording here with West Palm Beach Mayor Jerry Moyo, live from the mayor's office. Good morning, Mayor.
Good morning, Barry. How are you today?
Well, I'm doing great. I want to thank Cosmo DeShino and all our friends over at Cosmo and Company for allowing us to bring this to our listeners here on Seaview every Saturday and Sunday morning. Well, let's see what we got to have going on here in the city this week. I understand there is a new budget. Can you tell us a little bit about that? I understand you have 4 goals.
Yeah, well, we on Monday afternoon, really, we rolled out our first look at the upcoming budget. As you may know, our budget year is October 1st through September 31st, and we start building the budget for the commission's approval right around now. So we gave them a 30,000-foot view of where we are and laid out some priorities that we thought would be important for us to keep in mind as we move forward with the budget development. And those priorities are, first of all, that the millage rate would remain the same, that we would continue to at the same millage rate. Secondly, that money that we had borrowed from the reserves last year would be replenished. And that's pretty much already done, but we want to make sure that...
How much was that?
It was about $2.5 million, and we've had some land sales recently, and that money will go into the reserves to replenish that. The third one was to work really hard to be able to give raises to our employees. Our employees haven't had raises in 6 years, and we really want to be able to give them raises this upcoming budget year. And the fourth one is to address our capital issues, capital improvement. We have some significant needs, and we have been holding off on that because we've been in such dire budget conditions.
Sure.
So we have capital needs that we have to address.
Things like equipment,
Well,
vehicles?
and maintenance of buildings, vehicles, large vehicles, just addressing a lot of that.
Right. I know I mentioned to you before we started recording, I went on a little tour last week with Chris Rugg, who's the, what is his exact title? He's economic developer or something?
Director of Economic
He
Development.
gave me a great tour. He's so up on all the stuff that's going on. We went to the planning department and saw all the maps and the different pictures of the different projects that are in different stages here. There's so much going on in downtown West Palm, but we looked up at the in the northern part in the Northwood area, but we went in a West Palm Beach owned SUV, and I must say, you're not wasting money on vehicles. This thing must have been 8 years old, and it worked. The brakes worked and everything, but it's not
shape.
like you're out blowing the money on it.
Well, you know, we as I said, we presented this 30,000-foot view of the budget, and the good part is we're slowly coming out of our economic tight times, but we're not there yet.
Right.
So we still have to be very cautious about how we spend our money. And, you know, it will take a long time for us to ever, again, see the revenues that we saw back in the mid to late 2000s. At least 10 years.
I know that as a taxpayer because I look at my tax bills and they've gone down. They've gone down because of the property values. Yeah. So it's going to be a challenge for you.
Well, you know, we're excited that last year our property values went up 2%. This year they're projected to go up. Well, they are currently up by 4.42%, and that's projected to go up more. So that will bring more dollars into the city. But it will still be tight. It'll still be a tight budget year.
Mm-hmm. Now, we're sitting here on Wednesday morning, and you just announced that you have named a new chief of police for the city of West Palm Beach. Can you tell us a little bit about who this person is?
Yeah. Well, I am taking to the City Commission for their ratification the appointment of Brian Cumberland as our new police chief. Brian is currently our interim police chief, and he has been our assistant police chief for the last 3 years. He's a 26-year veteran of the police department. He has a bachelor's degree from Florida State University and a master's degree in public administration from Florida Atlantic University. And he's a good guy. We're excited about bringing him forward.
Did you have any, I know that you had expressed a desire to appoint from within, but did you have any discussions with people from outside the city in this particular search?
I had discussions just to talk to people. I didn't offer it to anybody, or, I always knew I wanted to stay in the department.
Sure, sure. And recruiting is still a major problem for you, right?
Well, I asked Brian today what he would see as his number one focus, and he said filling the 25 positions that we have currently open to be filled.
That's a very large number to have.
It's hard to
open.
do. If we had 150 applicants, and we only took 4 of them our last go around. So we're really
4 out of 150?
right.
Wow.
So we're only looking for the best of the best, and the assessment that the folks have to go through to become a police officer is really rigorous.
Sure, sure. I would assume that just like we do in real estate with the lousy weather up north, you might have some people living in Syracuse and Burlington, Vermont, who might be a little tempted. Maybe they're a police officer
Sure.
up there and might be a little tempted to
Yeah.
come to West Palm Beach
Great place to work.
for a little warmth. Okay, we're going to take a little break here and hear from Cosmo and Company. We will be back with West Palm Beach Mayor Jerry Moyo in a moment. And we are back. This is Barry O'Brien. We're here on CV Radio with West Palm Beach Mayor Jerry Moyo. Good to have you back. You have some new homes that just came online in Coleman Park. Can you tell us a little bit about those? They built by the city, or are they in the process of being built, or what?
They're not built yet.
Not built yet.
These are homes that we are building with federal money, but we broke ground on Friday for 5 new homes across the street from the Coleman Park Community Center. And these will be available for purchase for folks who qualify as low-income buyers. And it's part of our ongoing work that we're doing in Coleman Park to revitalize that area. We have about 25, 30 homes that we've built, new single-family homes in that area, and they're beautiful. And this is these are key because they're in such a key location right across from the park. So we're excited that we were able to break ground and move forward with the building. Mm-hmm. The very cool part is that the architect for the houses is a local architect, and the builder is a local builder, actually located right there on Tamarind Avenue. So this will be done by all local folks.
Oh, that's great. I noticed there was an article in the Palm Beach Post this morning, and it had come online yesterday afternoon, that a company in Delray Beach had bought an old hotel in Lake Worth. What was the name of that hotel? Do you remember? But it was a gorgeous old hotel. It had sold for about $12 million in like 2005. They were intending to turn it into condos and build another building next to it, but with the hurricanes that came in and then the downturn in the economy, it didn't get done. Now another company has bought it, and they're intending to turn it into residential again. So I'm looking now. Obviously, that is within Lake Worth. Are there any buildings like that have got some potential here in West Palm Beach? I'm thinking I had a house for sale on Almeria, and the old El Cid Hotel was there. And I look, it's a gorgeous old building. Yeah. When I saw the picture of the one in Lake Worth, it kind of reminded me a little of that. But now that the real estate market is coming back, has the city have any programs to help to restore and make sure that some of these historic buildings are not just torn down?
Yeah, absolutely. First of all, congratulations to Mayor Triola of Lake Worth for getting that done. I know it was one of her priorities, and so I think they're pretty excited about the opportunities there. We have an ongoing tax abatement for folks who want to restore or rehabilitate historic homes. So if you restore a historic home, or building, you can apply for a 10-year tax abatement. And that has helped to get many of our historic homes redone and had worked really quite well.
What department is that through?
That's through our planning department.
Okay.
Frederick Mittner is our historic preservation planner, and she administers that program and answers any questions you might have about if you have a historic home or historic building and you're planning to restore it. She's a great resource. She's so knowledgeable. That's available. I can't think of any hotels off the top of my head or anything like that that would be equivalent.
You may have a situation where it made sense as a hotel 50, 75 years
Sure.
ago, and now the geography has changed, but you've still got some of these interesting old
Well,
buildings.
and there's that little one up on Avernus Street, the Avernus Street Hotel.
Yeah, that reminds me of remember the TV show Hot L Baltimore, and it was
Yeah.
that's an interesting place.
Well, people actually still stay there as a hotel.
And with the new train station coming in, that's got to be a pretty valuable location.
You would think.
That's
yeah.
got to be a pretty valuable location. Well, now speaking of trains, every week there's something more about All Aboard Florida. You got any news that you can share with them?
Not really. We are continuing to work with them and negotiate with them. I understand that there will soon be released an economic impact report that we'll be
Right.
eager to see. But we're still working with them. We have 6 things that we want. They have 6 things they want from us, and we're negotiating.
Sure, and I mean there is so much opposition to this north of here.
There is.
And it is also fascinating to me that I talk to some people who have no idea that it's happening, or they've heard one side of the story, and it's a complicated story.
It's definitely 2 sides to the story, and I think that were it not for the fact that a station is here in West Palm Beach, and we will get economic impact from that station, I think we would be more concerned.
Sure.
So I totally understand the feelings of our neighbors to the north, and understand why they have some significant concerns.
Sure. Talk a little bit about baseball. We're back to another discussion saying that the Nationals and the Houston Astros have kind of narrowed it down to 160 acres south of 45th Street. Any news you can share on that? I mean,
Not really. We have signed a confidentiality agreement, so we really can't.
come on, you can tell me. There's nobody. Just
Nobody's
share with our
listening.
listeners
Nobody's
here.
listening.
Yes.
I can't really tell you the particulars except that we're continue to be negotiating.
I would certainly say that Washington, D.C. would be a wonderful baseball market to have connected to West Palm Beach. You've got great nonstop flights that come down. I would certainly prefer to see my Baltimore Orioles here, but they are over in Sarasota. I suppose maybe we could get them to move over here. Can you tell us a little bit about, there was a meeting last night in Curry Park, discussing some Curry Park changes in zoning.
Right. As part of our North End visioning meeting, we have came up with a recommendation to change the codes for Curry Park. Just want to make it clear, we're not changing the park in any way. We're changing the land around the park that's open for development, the codes. And the past, anyway.
We could go 10 seconds longer.
Okay, so the past codes there called CMUD, the Curry Park something, anyway, have really been disincentivizing development there. So we've come to the conclusion with the input from the community that it was time to change the codes to make it easier for development to occur. We're not changing the park codes, we're only changing the land, developable land around the park.
All right, well, it is time for us to go. Thank you, West Palm Beach Mayor Jerry Moyle. Thank you, Cosmo and Company. I will see you on the radio on Tuesday night at 6:05. I'm Barry O'Brien, and we will see you here again next Saturday and Sunday morning. Thank you.
Thank you.